right, we can't wait too much longer. We're jam-packed with content today. So good afternoon and welcome to our webinar where we're going to be introducing you to the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite. We're thrilled you're joining us today to learn how BSP is helping organizations in the office products industry transform their operations for the future. Let's get right into it. We've got a lot to cover. At a high level, we're going to introduce you to the trilogy of software partners that make up the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite. Then we're going to break it down to describe the tremendous advantages that each of these systems bring to the total solution. We'll describe some compelling replacement scenarios, and then it's demo time. We're going to take you behind the screens of the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite to see how ISG dealers just like you are tackling the challenges of our modern economy to increase their margins and streamline operations. My name is Craig Cook, and I'll be your host for today's presentation. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about the organization that brought all of this together, Business Solution Partners. By way of introduction, I'll start out with the fact that the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite is an exclusive deployment of the world's #1 ERP that has been deeply customized for the office products industry and specifically for members of the Independent Suppliers Group. This fully integrated tech stack features not only the powerful financial and operational capabilities of NetSuite, but it combines the power of NetSuite with Logicblock and Elite EXTRA. My organization, Business Solution Partners, is a long-standing NetSuite partner who specializes in customizing the platform for the benefit of individual customers and entire industries. We saw a tremendous opportunity to align with the Office Products Distribution Network and to provide a path forward into the future. We've spent a lot of time and effort to understand your industry from the ground up, partnered with the best-in-class providers that serve the community, and developed a bespoke product designed specifically for your needs. Why did we do this? It's part of our ethos. We provide better solutions to the NetSuite community and whole industries that need better systems and processes to address the economies of today. We deliver better implementations, better support, better training, and better results because we focus our efforts on solutions for micro-vertical communities driven by expertise and alignment. We are Business Solution Partners, and we are moving the office products and contract furniture industry forward. We're a proud NetSuite solution provider partner who can help you on your journey from ERP selection through implementation, training, and beyond. We're the exclusive purveyors of the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite, and we welcome you to today's webinar. Joining me today on our call is a star-studded cast of experts in the office products industry. From Team BSP, you'll hear from our dedicated account exec for the office products industry, Melody Flynn, and solution consultant, Michael Sullivan, who is going to give you a rapid-fire taste of all the functionality packed into the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite. Our partners from Logicblock are on the call today as well. Founder and Chief Executive Officer Alexander Nicolaitis is stopping by for a quick introduction. I hear he lost his voice, so hopefully he can join us. If not, he'll be there in spirit. And we're also going to get an introduction to their e-commerce aspects of our fully integrated solution with Solomon Delicante, who will join us through a walkthrough of just some of Logicblock's capabilities that you can expect to love when you make the switch to ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite. Before we jump in, I'd like to mention that the recorded version of this webinar, like all of our webinars, will premiere on our YouTube channel in just a couple of weeks. And I'll draw your attention here because BSP's channel is a valuable resource for NetSuite users and prospects alike. With over 100 NetSuite-centric videos, ranging from long-format webinars to 2-minute tips for NetSuite success, our audience has grown to over 6,000 subscribers who have consumed almost 80,000 hours of our content. And today, I'm really excited to announce that BSP is celebrating a massive milestone for our channel, having recently surpassed the 1 million view threshold. I'd like to congratulate my entire team on this monumental achievement, especially those team members like Melody and Michael, who you'll meet today, who contribute so much of their time and attention to ensure that we provide valuable resources to our growing community. All right, we're almost ready to dive in. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that we are excited to meet you at Industry Week 24 in sunny Orlando. It's really hard to believe we're just 2 weeks out, but BSP would cordially like to invite you to the Technology Talk panel on September 24th during Tuesday morning's opening session. That's where our good friend and colleague Brandy Wilkerson will be answering questions about his experience with NetSuite. Brandy is the owner and executive vice president for Office Solutions and Innovations Incorporated, a family-owned office products distributor with over 60 years of service in the categories of office products, technology, furniture, food service, Jansen, industrial, and chemicals. OSI has been running NetSuite since 2021 after Brandy, who has a strong background in software and development, led the implementation charge. In 2024, Brandy formed W2 Management Consulting to assist dealers with their transition to the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite and works along BSP as a valuable resource for the ISG community. We're really looking forward to hearing from Brandy on Tuesday morning. And don't forget to come visit BSP and Logicblock during the expo. We're looking forward to some FaceTime during our annual pilgrimage to Industry Week. Stop by booths. We think it's 109, 110. I've read somewhere it might be 107, 108. We're in the back corner of the convention center. Stop by, say hi to us to meet the teams behind the solution. We're there to answer any of your questions and share more insights about the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite. All right, it's my favorite time of the webinar where I get to get out of the way and introduce the experts behind the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite. It's my distinct pleasure to introduce Melody Flynn. Melody tirelessly pushes forward on behalf of the dealers in the ISG network. As the dedicated account executive for this community, she works alongside software publishers, industry advocates, and dealers like you, striving for continuous improvement of the NetSuite product to serve the needs of you and your peers. I'm really excited to introduce you to her. I'm happy to hand this over to Melody Flynn.
Well, thank you, Craig, for that introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. Just to give you a little bit of background on myself. So I used to work directly at NetSuite for 12 years, from 2006 to 2018, and then I've also been with BSP for 3 years. So in total, 15 years of NetSuite experience. Now, since I've been with BSP, the ISG edition has really been my main focus and initiative. And when I took on this project, what I really wanted to do was to find a way to get dealers on the powerful NetSuite platform, without having them, pay a whole bunch of upfront costs to develop the platform to make it work for the industry. Essentially, what I wanted to do is just really make it a lot easier for dealers to get on the powerful NetSuite platform. And so, in talking with BSP management, we really made that happen. So BSP has put hundreds of thousands of dollars of development into building out the ISG edition of NetSuite in exchange for a small annual modular fee to offset our development costs. So I've worked with many dealers throughout the last few years to help design the solution, and I'm really excited to take you through this presentation. So first of all, what is the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite? So what it really is a best of breed, true cloud, e-commerce, accounting, ERP, and proof of delivery solution that's developed specifically for office products and furniture dealers. Now, what I mean by best of breed is that these 3 solutions that you're going to see in just a minute are really extremely well known, in their particular industries. So again, best of breed, these solutions are recognized in the industry as being, really best in their breed for what they do. And then also true cloud, meaning that the software solutions we're about to introduce here were never developed as kind of an old legacy architected on-premise platform or solution that was then hosted in the cloud. These solutions were designed for the cloud right from day one, and all the benefits that you get from that. So I want to introduce the ISG Edition Trinity, what I guess I call the Trinity partnership, which is Logicblock on the front end. That's the e-commerce front end. And then, of course, Oracle NetSuite in the back end, and also Elite Extra for the last mile logistics. Now, just to give you a kind of a sense of the high level workflow overview here, as an order goes through the system, what's happening is that orders are flowing from Logicblock automatically into NetSuite. And that's where the purchasing and the invoicing and the pick, pack, and ship is happening. And then a shipment record is pushed to Elite Extra for proof of delivery functions. And then after all of that's done, the shipment information, the order, and the invoice data all flows back into Logicblock and is viewable in the customer portal. And the last thing I'll highlight here also is that if you're a dealer that has a retail store, so POS, the POS orders are generated directly into NetSuite and pushed back into LogicBlock. So just wanted to give you kind of an overview of what the flow looks like, but I am going to dive in a little bit more into the details, of the ISG Edition integrations to start off with. So BSP has developed end-to-end two-way integrations like I just described with LogicBlock, with NetSuite and Elite Extra, but we've also built a very robust EDI platform for our integrations with Ascendant and SP Richards, and this EDI platform can be extended to other suppliers as well. But in terms of our integrations with Ascendant and SP Richards, we can send POs, acknowledgements, ASNs, and also the invoices are all automated via EDI. We've built in flexible transmission schedules and warehouse selections, so you can choose to, select SP Richards as the first warehouse that gets pinged for the transmission, and then it could flip back over to Ascendant and back and forth, throughout until your order is fulfilled. So there's a lot of flexibility around that, and you can transmit as many times throughout the day as you choose as well. We've also built in auto receiving for 1, 2, and 3-day deliveries, and there's more functionality kind of in addition to this. And if you want to do a deeper dive on this, please contact me and we can dive into it a little bit further. We've also built an EDI integration with ISG, so you can receive your ISG invoices via EDI, and you can also send purchase orders to your suppliers through the ISG network, through BSP, through NetSuite into ISG. So again, full EDI integration with ISG as well. And then we've also built out HP integration, which automates the weekly and monthly Amplify and Business Rewards Purchase Edge sales report submissions. So all of your, I believe that HP really requires you to be very diligent about sending them reports. And so we automate this and transmit it automatically over to HP as well. Now, this is just an example of some of the integrations we've done. Again, we've built out an EDI platform, and we're very strong on integration capabilities. So if there are other suppliers that you would want to integrate with, we can certainly do that as well. Now, we've also built some industry-specific customizations in the back end, things like automated route code and warehouse assignment. We all know that it can be difficult to deal with a lot of different Ascendant and SP Richards account numbers. So we automate that process. I'm sure you're happy about that. We've also built out a carton program analysis page based on some feedback from some dealers. So, an example of this would be if there's an item that has a minimum carton program quantity of, let's say, 10, and you've already received orders for 10 of that item, and it's noon of a given day. Instead of automatically transmitting that and paying a higher cost with your regular Ascendant account number or SP account number, you may want to decide to send that as part of a carton buy at the end of the day. And that way you're going to get the lower cost and increase your margins. So we make it incredibly easy to monitor this. We give you clear visibility with highlighting, when an item is getting close to or has already exceeded the minimum carton buy quantity. And we just make the whole workflow really easy and simple for you. So this alone could really help drive higher margins and lower your costs. So we're really excited about this component. And we've also built out rebate management as part of our customizations. So now what I want to do is just kind of get into some of the features of each of the individual systems. So, NetSuite, LogicBlock, and Elite Extra. So we're going to kick it off with NetSuite here. And I think the first thing that's really important to know about NetSuite is, first of all, NetSuite was founded back in 1998. So NetSuite just had its 25-year anniversary last year. So it's been around a long time, but it's really the first accounting system that was developed in the cloud, for the cloud, right from day one. Originally, it was called NetLedger, and then as new, modules and features and functionality were built around the accounting platform, it was changed to NetSuite. So it is first and foremost an accounting system. And by this point, NetSuite's very large. NetSuite was acquired by Oracle back in 2015. Offices in 15 countries, $1 billion in revenue, and just in terms of the size overall, 7,000 employees globally. And this number is really important just for you to know that there are over 40,000 NetSuite customers and subsidiaries globally. So a lot of these companies are wholesalers, just like yourself. And just to give you a sense of the run rate of how many new logos, there's about 3,000 logos that are being brought on to NetSuite every year. Now, I like to talk about the NetSuite platform because I think it's really important compared to what the other options are in the industry. So NetSuite is a very open, flexible platform. And the majority of what you can do in NetSuite is what we call click not code configuration. So you yourself, with very minimal training, can go in and you can change the look and feel of your dashboards. You can change reports, modify them. You don't have to be a programmer to do this. You can even do things like create fields. So maybe you want to track certain data fields that you've thought of. Very simple. You can literally create a new field in NetSuite in less than a minute. And then you can turn around and start to report on that field. So it really gives you the power to optimize the solution on an ongoing basis to really kind of serve your needs. It also includes a built-in workflow engine. So for example, if any orders that come in from Logicblock, if they are a CIF file order, for contract furniture, maybe you want those to be routed to somebody for approval before they go through, the full process. Whereas all the other orders, you just want them to flow in automatically. So you can do things like that. There's a very powerful workflow engine. And again, it doesn't require coding, just a little bit of training on how to use it. But if you do need more customizations, and like the customizations I described that we've built for the ISG Edition, NetSuite is a development platform, so it accepts JavaScript customizations, and it's also open, so it integrates with any system. You're not going to be, restricted in, for example, using whatever credit card processing merchant that you want, or integrating with other systems that are available in the NetSuite ecosystem. So very, very open. And then even with the customizations and the integrations that we've built out in the ISG edition of NetSuite, you're still going to move forward automatically to a new release twice per year with NetSuite, and that happens in the spring and the fall. Again, it's automatic. You just wake up in the morning and the new features and functionality will be rolled out into your instance. And that's the way NetSuite's designed, because it was designed in the cloud right from day one. And then, so the idea here is that 100% of NetSuite's customers are on the most recent and only version of NetSuite. So the idea here is that you cannot get stuck on an old version of NetSuite. It's absolutely impossible. So you'll never have to rip out and replace it in 10 to 20 years. All right, so just some ideas, some of the background on NetSuite. So in terms of financial management, as I mentioned, NetSuite's an accounting system. As transactions happen in NetSuite, they are hitting your general ledger in real time. You have the ability to segment your GL by subsidiary. So if you have multiple companies or multiple subsidiaries, NetSuite manages that extremely well. Also, you can segment by department, class, and location. And a lot of people have trouble with period end closing. NetSuite really simplifies that with the period end close checklist as well. NetSuite also has purchasing management. So of course, as I mentioned, there's automatic PO transmissions via EDI to SP Richards and Ascendant. We can also add other suppliers there. One-click cart and buy purchase order transmissions. So the idea here is that you don't have to go into the Ascendant portal or into the SP portal and place your orders. It's all going to be done through NetSuite automatically for you. And then in terms of when you're placing purchase orders direct to suppliers, NetSuite has some built-in demand planning options that you can plan accordingly and know how much to purchase. And I highlight this as well, that NetSuite also is a warehouse management system. So you can just use kind of the basic warehouse management, bin management, things like that. Or you can get into some advanced options, including RF barcode scanning, where you're using a mobile device to scan in purchase orders and to guide people to pick and put away items. And then there are, of course, our advanced picking and put away strategies, and also efficient picking routes and some other functionality as well. And I'd be happy to take you through this in more detail if you like. And then for companies that are working a lot in furniture installation, NetSuite has project management for the furniture installation. So, I'm presuming you would really like to see your project in terms of profit and loss reporting, which this does. And the way it does it is that the project record is really one record that compiles all sales orders, purchase orders, work orders, invoices, payments, change orders, everything associated to that installation project. And because of that, that's how we've got all the data to, record your profit and loss reporting. Now, it also allows you to assign resources to projects, and your installers can log in through their mobile device to also record their time and expense against projects. So happy to talk to you more about this, because I think it's something that I haven't seen too much in the industry, and how NetSuite manages it, and it's built right into the platform. It's not an integration. So again, something I'd love to talk to you about. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit about LogicBlock. And LogicBlock, of course, is business to business and business to consumer e-commerce, and combines both the web store front end, and it's also the place where the customers log into a portal for self-service to view orders and invoices and that kind of thing as well. So I'm going to get into just a little bit about LogicBlock here, and I want to tell you just a little bit of a story. When we were building out the ISG edition of NetSuite, we knew that we had to have a very powerful e-commerce solution as part of it, because it's just the way business is taking place in the industry right now. And NetSuite itself has an e-commerce solution, and we looked at it, but it just didn't have the robustness that we knew would be required. And so when we looked at the industry and we looked at LogicBlock, hands down, we found that LogicBlock was very robust and really the best solution in the industry. So that's when we formed the partnership with LogicBlock. So I'll give you some ideas of, some of the details of why and some of the features and functionality that makes it really best of breed in the industry. So first of all, e-commerce is in LogicBlock's DNA. They live and breathe e-commerce every single day. They're very big on support. And they've been around since 2003. So they've been in business for 20 years and have done over 500 web store deployments. So they've been around a long time. And, their initial customers in the early years were office products companies. So as they continued to add more and more office products companies on, they continued to build out features and functionality really specifically for that industry. So that's why all of this stuff is just so powerful and really kind of custom designed for the industry. They also have, for example, unlimited seats and no contracts. And so I think you'll find just working with them is great as well. And then when we dive into some of their functionality, so speaking a little bit more about the B2B and the B2C e-commerce front end, it's really important to be a search engine friendly website. I'm sure you get that, because you really need your customers to be able to find the products that they're looking for. And on that note, they do have flexible search options. So you can use Ascendant search, you can use the SP Richards Edelweiss search, or you can use LogicBlock's proprietary search as well. So there's definitely search options. If any of the others are not working, you can also, rely on LogicBlock's search engine. It's mobile ready. So if, as your customers log in with their phone or whatever device they want into LogicBlock, it's going to resize itself and it works on any device. There's unlimited content, categories, and products. And then you can also really design a beautiful looking site. And in a little bit, Solomon's going to kind of give you some examples of that, but you have complete flexibility in the layout, design, and functionality of the platform. And then just some industry specific features. There's a fully automated integration with wholesaler catalogs. So SP Richards and Ascendant, all of those catalogs are fully integrated with LogicBlock, and that includes all of the content and images and pricing. And those are automatically updated for you. I believe it's monthly for Ascendant, up to daily for Ascendant and monthly for SP Richards. Now, LogicBlock also has a very robust integration with Item 411. So you might be familiar with Item 411. They scrape all of your competitors' pricing from, like the Staples and Walmarts and Amazons of the world, and make that data available. And there's two ways you can use that data. One way is when your customers are shopping on your website, if they click on an item, it will actually show the competitor's pricing, provided that yours is lower. So it really makes your site sticky, and the customers know that they're getting the best price from you. Another way of using that data is when you're creating your pricing strategies. So you could do something like, I want this item to be cost plus 20%, but I want it to be 2% lower than the lowest competitor's price. So there's lots of stuff that you can do with that. It's the most robust integration to Item 411 that you'll find. Nobody matches this in the industry. Some other things that LogicBlock does is punch-out ordering. They've worked with an infinite number of punch-out systems, so they can handle yours. And also, if you do use some of those configurators from the furniture software products, you can import your SIF files directly into LogicBlock, and then they flow again directly into NetSuite. And then purchasing policies as well. And I think I'm running low on time, so I'm going to fast forward here to the next one. Alex is the founder and president of LogicBlock, but he's lost his voice today, so we were going to let him say hello, but I think we're just going to pass through this. But this is Alex, and he will be at the conference as well in a couple weeks. And then just a quick note on Elite Extra for those of you who may not have heard of them. They're really covering things like proof of delivery, photo and signature capture, route optimization, and GPS tracking. It's a really, really powerful system. They'll run anything from like a couple of drivers to thousands. And then just some of the other features that they offer, of course, customer ETA notifications. And they also have an integration with rideshare companies like Uber and Lyft. So you can also have your, if a driver didn't show up that day, as an example, you could also have Lyft or Uber deliver your products, and all of that integration exists. This is an amazing product. I highly encourage you, if you've been looking for proof of delivery and you haven't looked at Elite Extra, they're absolutely fantastic. So highly recommended, and I'd be happy to set you up with our contact over there. So why BSP? Well, I think the big part here is that we've really invested a lot of time and resources into the ISG edition of NetSuite. You can see some of the customers here that we have that are right in your industry. We're continuing to improve the ISG edition of NetSuite. So as new customers come on and require new functionality, we're building that into the ISG edition of NetSuite and building it into the bundle. And then that becomes available to everybody else. So we're really committed to your success in general. And just to give you a sense of BSP, we were one of the first NetSuite partners in the NetSuite ecosystem. Our consultants have on average 7 years of NetSuite experience. And we've done over 600 implementations. We support our customers as well. So we would support you directly on everything related to NetSuite, as well as the ISG edition of NetSuite. And you can see that we're doing about 10,000 support tickets annually as well. So our goal is really to continuously improve the ISG edition of NetSuite and give dealers a competitive advantage. And what we're replacing are systems that, this might be familiar to you, systems that are closed and inflexible, so they don't integrate with anything, and you can't do anything yourself. Any kind of changes that you want to have made, you have to ask that company to do them and pay for that. Systems that can't be configured or customized by the dealer, systems that aren't integration friendly and make it difficult to import, export, or access your data, and also systems that are antiquated and difficult to upgrade. We're also replacing software companies that have unresponsive support. You'll find that BSP's support is absolutely fabulous. It's unlimited support, guaranteed same day or next day support. And then also, we replace software companies that are increasing prices without any benefits. Like I said, we're constantly improving the ISG edition of NetSuite. And then also software companies that are really not seeking to improve their cash cow software products. So again, we want to get you on a modern platform that's always new, always current, and you don't have to rip out and replace it in 10 to 20 years. All right, so we're going to go into the LogicBlock demonstration. So I just want to introduce Solomon Del Conte, Director of Operations from LogicBlock.
Hey, thanks, Melody. I hope everyone's having a wonderful time. I just want to thank everyone for their time today. My name is Solomon, and I'm going to be doing a brief overview of LogicBlock storefront and admin functionality. Just to kind of get started here, LogicBlock is a turnkey hosted e-commerce storefront and backend solution. Our customers get a fully customizable website encompassing their entire brand experience. This is everything they need: the homepage, the landing pages, info pages, categories, products, blog posts, search, and a full shopping cart experience equal to the national players. I'm kind of just briefly going over some of our custom designs that we've created over the years. You can see that these are fully customized websites that we've created and implemented for customers of ours. These are all on our customers' own domain names with their own content, and everything is search engine friendly, as Melody pointed out, and mobile ready and blazing fast, all out of the box. I'm just going to kind of scroll through these a little bit more here, just to give you an idea of what these can look like. Now, at a high level, our platform is a software as a service turnkey e-commerce solution. It is meant to be and can be used as your full-blown website. It is not just a shopping solution. It is meant to be a marketing and informational site, as well as give you the ability to sell your products online. Our thought is that it should be easy for people to find you, so everything is completely customizable and search engine friendly and mobile ready right out of the box. I'm going to flip over to this site. What you're seeing here is what we create right out of the box. You're able to edit the banners, and we can even completely customize the design, as I was displaying with the other sites. And you're in control of what content shows up and where on this site. Everything that you see here is editable. The products on the homepage, the information in these boxes, and as I was saying, the banner images, all of this can be edited and maintained by you very easily, I might add. Part of the services that we offer are the ability to facilitate loading the wholesaler catalogs. In this case, I believe we have Ascendant and SP Richards loaded. And of course, we have all of the rich content and data that you'd be used to seeing in terms of navigation and rich product data. And that includes the category structure and also all the rich product data, as I was saying. You can see here. We also have an integration with something called Item 411, which is a third party that we work with that aggregates data from your big box competitors like Staples and Amazon, and with intelligence actively compares your prices against these competitors. So here you can see that this price is beating all of these big box competitors. If any of these were underneath our price here, they would not be displayed. So that's a really powerful feature, and you can actually use that data dynamically to price your products in an automated way. So if you wanted to beat one of these by 1%, but always keep a floor above a certain percentage, it's very, very easy to set up and maintain. We work very closely with them to maintain that integration. So that's a really great feature that we have. The search by default that we have on this site is using our built-in search engine, which is completely customizable, and you can change the way it looks and behaves if you wanted different things to come up when you've typed in a certain keyword. That's very easy to do. But we also have integrations with the Smart Search and Eagle-Eyes searches from Ascendant and SP Richards. So the advanced integrated search we have integrations with. The shopping experience is intended to be very seamless and familiar. I'm able to add things to my cart very easily, and I can either check out as a guest, or if looks like I'm signed in here. I can either check out as a guest, or I can sign in to an account. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to sign into an account here real quick. And placing an order is very simple. All of the address information can be auto-filled, and everything is a one-page checkout. Now, additionally, your customers can log in and manage their accounts. So from this dashboard, you can say I'm logged in, and I can view and manage my order history. I can see it. There's no orders in here currently, but they would show up here. I can create and manage shopping carts, which can then be quoted. Gift certificates, favorites lists, product lists. These are things that you can create for customers, or they can create themselves and easily reorder from. The address book can be used to store different billing and shipping addresses if that's relevant for your customers. From here, they can change their email or password. They can also manage sub-users. So this is a hierarchy of sub-users that have order approval chains, which you can easily set up for your customers, or they can set these up themselves. It's all very straightforward and intuitive and easy to use. So that kind of covers a lot of the storefront functionality. I'm now going to switch gears a little bit and sign into the admin side of the website. So give me just a moment here. And at the top of the screen here is a black bar that has now appeared. This would never show up to your customers, but there's an admin button over here on the right, and that would take you to the admin dashboard. And from here, this is like a backup house for your store. You can see all of your order data. You can see recent orders, revenue, and things of that nature. And from this menu on the left-hand side, you can manage and edit most of your site, and that could be something like creating and editing a user. So that would be something like this, or managing a sales order under the order manager, and seeing all of your recent orders here. Maybe you need to edit a product or create a new one, or look at some product information that would be listed here under products. There's pricing, where you can go into price rules and create and manage different price rules for different customers. We've got different kinds of price rules, which you can combine together with rule sets and intelligence. So tons of functionality there. And then additionally, you can take orders from customers and place them into the system, which would then flow into NetSuite, which I'm now going to introduce Michael from Business Solution Partners to kind of take over the flow from there. The orders would be placed in our system, and then they would transfer into NetSuite for transmission and accounting and everything else. So I'm going to take my screen share off here. And I'm going to, like I said, introduce Michael from Business Solution Partners. He's the senior solution consultant, and he's going to take over from here. So thank you, everyone, for your time.
Yeah, so quick intros. My name is Michael Sullivan. Prior to being at BSP, I was at NetSuite Direct for 8 years. But prior to that, I spent about another 17 years working in different software companies focusing on distribution and manufacturing. So a long time in the software industry, working with similar companies as you are. Quickly, from an agenda perspective, what I thought we would do is basically start exactly where Solomon left off. Is we'll look at a quick order in LogicBlock. We're going to import that into NetSuite. We'll review the result in NetSuite. We'll look at a screen that's going to show orders and items that are being queued up for transmission to Ascendant, SP Richards, or other potential wholesalers or suppliers. And then we'll look at the ability to remove items from this automated screen, put them into like a cart and buy screen where we're accumulating orders for the day. And then we'll kind of look how shipping and invoicing works, and then we'll come back and we'll do a quick little dashboard overview. But just really quickly, from a flow perspective, what we're going to do here from the left side is we're going to have the LogicBlock orders. They're going to flow into NetSuite as a sales order. We're going to remove some stuff and move it to this cart and buy page. We're going to bring in some stock items to merge, just in case we need some extra purchasing power. We'll create that PO, and then that PO obviously will either come back in-house as a wrap and label, or potentially drop shipped. We'll have inventory, we'll ship it, and we'll invoice it out. So let me move to the NetSuite screen. I'm just going to grab that really quick. And this is what we're going to see in NetSuite. But really quick, what we're going to do is take that order from Solomon and we're going to bring it in. You can see here that I have like a little reminder where the number 3 is, LogicBlock orders imported. This order I put together just earlier today. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. The last one here is going to be coming out of stock. The rest of them will be Ascendant. Below, we have additional shipping information. I have a little note here that's going to come through. We have a PO number that's going to come through, and I'm going to place the order. So what happens is this 333 here will be sent to NetSuite on a timer. I'm going to expedite that a little bit just by picking that order and importing it. What will happen is that these orders typically come in on a 15-minute interval that can be obviously expedited just the way I just did by forcing it to import. Those orders will come into a specific status. And you can see the number is increased to 4. We can see the 333s right here. We'll hit the view button. We have a new order in NetSuite. And the integration is bi-directional. So we're also sending updates back as the order is being shipped, it's being invoiced, it's being paid. We're sending inventory back. So it's a complete bi-directional integration between LogicBlock and NetSuite. So once we have that sales order, I decide to put it into pending approval status. All that means is that I'm kind of holding it and potentially doing a technical review before I release it. I'm just going to quickly show you that those 5 items have come through. We can see that we have nothing committed right now because it's still an approval. Nothing's packed, picked, shipped, invoice. But what we can see is the description of the items coming through, the rates that are coming from LogicBlock. We can see that the supplier is being determined. We can see the PO rates that are being populated, the costs, and even the loaded costs. So if you have loaded costs in the system where you might have, freight and miscellaneous expenses on top of your inventory costs, we're going to track those. And then as we scroll over here, right, we've actually determined that the best vendor in this case is Ascendant, and we found the account number directly for that. So all of that comes in, and then underneath the BSP tag here, you can see the link back to the original LogicBlock number. Here's our info that came in. And then we're going to track a whole bunch of information here around logs and transactions that have happened. So the order has come in, and at the same time, based off of your schedule on how you transmit, and you can see as I hovered over here, you can see actually an entire BSP tab where we have put a bundle of BSP specific customizations into NetSuite that we can deploy and update in any point in time. But it's everything around your EDI settings, your partners, how your transmissions are sent and when and how they're grouped. So nothing is hard coded. So if you are a little different than your next competitor, all of this is configured together with you, like when and what is grouped and sent together. And then the LogicBlock integrations, cart and buy stuff, everything is sitting there. And saying that, what has happened is that when those items came in and that order came in, they're sitting in a queue where they're waiting to be transmitted over to your suppliers. So in this case, we just have 2 examples here. I'm going to focus on Ascendant today. And the way the screen is set up, it is indicating you in the colors that there are some potential carton buys. Carton buys meaning where you typically have a minimum order quantity that you need to meet, and potentially you want to have larger quantities to reduce your freight costs or to eliminate it. And under every row, when you hit the little eyeball, you'll see that there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders that make up that one line. So what we've done is we've taken all of the items, we've condensed them together. We're still tagging them to their route code where they're going to originally end up. And we're showing you that there is an opportunity. If you see the yellow line, that means we're getting really close to that carton buy minimum. And if you see nothing here, then that means these potentially don't have a carton buy, or there might be some, in my case, missing information. If we were to just sit here and stare at the screen, what would happen is, in a real life environment, is that these would drop off the screen as they get transmitted. What I'm going to do, just for the purpose of the presentations, I'm going to decide to take the entire line here. So you'll see that all 5 get highlighted. And I'm going to decide to exclude those from the automatic transmission and give me the opportunity to accumulate more during the day and then send those out when I'm ready for it. So think of it, just going back to the flowchart really quickly. Order came in. We have basically everything's waiting to be transmitted and to create a PO here. So that's going to happen based off of the schedules that we've set up together with you. They'll drop off. We'll create those POs depending on if there's availability, what the location is, and all that. And now I just put something over to the carton buy page. And when I go over there, we'll just refresh really quick. We're going to see that we have certain items that have been moved over into this other section. So what we're doing is we're excluding them from the automatic transmission. And we can see here, these are all filtered by, actually they aren't filtered by Ascendant, but they all do happen to be Ascendant ones. The Ascendant minimum buy is $1,000. We don't seem to have enough quantity here. So what we can actually do is indicate here that we want to see if there's any items that we typically buy to stock that we could augment this transmission with. So if I went and just selected everything here, right? I don't want to do that. Then for next presentation, I have nothing left. But if we selected a couple items here, what's going to happen is we're going to tell the system to create a purchase order for these 2. By doing that, we're now removing them from the carton buy page. And I'm going to take one that I've already created earlier here just to show you what happens. It creates a purchase order. And what you'll see here now that there's a button here that says transmit PO. So you don't have to go through the automated process. You could also generate the POs manually, transmit them yourself. But that's just more work than you really need to do. But in this case, I had moved one item over. So now I could transmit this. Now, in reality, I don't have a connection to Ascendant here for the purpose of the demo. And then what's going to happen here under the BSP ISG tab is, again, this is the specific stuff that we've developed. So you have the ability to auto receive, right? So maybe this is coming in overnight and you want the PO received automatically. We're going to track the account numbers. We're going to get the transmission queues and IDs. We're going to get the ASN logs. So once they respond and tell us when it's going to be shipped. And we're going to do that on every single level. It's not just the PO, but we're going to go over here and we're going to get the facility where it's coming from, the acknowledgement information. All of that is going to come back into NetSuite automatically. All right, so what have we done up to now? Really quickly, PO, sales order. We had stuff that's automatically generating a PO. We went to the carton buy page. We added some stock items, generated a PO, went to the supplier. Next step would be that if something is coming in, we would receive that or auto receive it optionally. And what I'll do is I'll just bring in a sales order and a PO that I already have queued up and close a couple things up here at the top. All right, what you're also noticing here is this global search screen is really your best friend from a navigation perspective. That means you can get anywhere you want, looking at records or even, just typing in Smith from a navigation perspective. It's like a Google search that takes you anywhere and everywhere within NetSuite. So think of the next step. We've sent something out to Ascendant or to another supplier. We're waiting for it to come back in, and possibly we are looking at a specific order. So I have this little queue here, sales order shipping for this one item. You'll see that I have 5 line items. The one in green is indicating that I already have reservation, and I have an allocation. Allocation is like a soft reservation. That means in this case, it's still attached to the PO. The PO is not being received, but this inventory is sitting here. So imagine you had one order, 4 items that wrap and label. They're going to come in overnight. One of them is sitting in stock. You're going to pick that. And then we either auto receive or receive this particular purchase order either through the receive button, or some of the BSP automation does that for you. But when we hit the receive button, the inventory hits your designated location here. In this case, it's called Raleigh. And when we go back to our search, everything is green. So that means we're ready to ship the order. So if you think of, again, the flow chart really quick, what's happened now is everything has hit inventory right here. What's going to happen is Elite Extra, which is the GPS proof of delivery software, they will pick up the data at this point in time from NetSuite. And they will then schedule the truck and give information back to us once that's completed. In NetSuite, what will happen is we will have a item fulfillment. And think of an item fulfillment as like a shipment that has gone out your door. And I'm just going to quickly, before I show you that, is close a whole bunch of stuff here and go to a different user. So I'm going to go to the warehouse operations person, and they have a dashboard right here that is color-coded that gives them real-time information. So this example here is color-coded by route code. So we're dropping in a specific color. Depending on route code, we can filter information by route code. Right. Really simple stuff here. If I go to another user here, just as an example, I've changed the color coding a little bit differently, where we're showing everything in red is currently delayed. Everything in green is ready to go for today. Right. So you're able to use these colors to identify exceptions and to queue up the user on what they should be doing at a specific point in time. From here, you can also print picking tickets. So just quickly show you what I'm talking about. It could be something that looks like this. It could be a little bit more sophisticated if you want to get into the warehouse management, where we have tons of barcodes, the ability to scan everything. We're going to have packing slips. Again, multiple formats for those as well. So what I'm going to do is pull up an existing item fulfillment. And we can do that again from this magic screen here and go to our help. If you're using the warehouse management system, there's mobile scanning devices that can create this record. Otherwise, you can also just create that from a sales order, or you can create that from an actual screen here where you can generate something. An item fulfillment really is from an inventory perspective. The inventory is leaving your building. You can see the button here, send order to Elite EXTRA, so that could be a manual push. Typically, it's automated. We can see all of the items here, what's on hand, what's the quantity. We again see the BSP tag, and notice the link back to the Logicblock information. From here, just as an example, if you are using UPS or FedEx or USPS to ship any of your items, you actually have the ability to do that directly in NetSuite. So FedEx, UPS, and USPS are all part of the solution. This is just a sample, obviously, if we don't want to be sending real packages. And what happens from a communication perspective here under this tab is actually can, and in this case, I'm missing this email because I believe this user, and there's real security in here in the demo environments, is sometimes the security is so good that it tricks out my demos. There we go. So the system can generate emails automatically, and you'll see down here is an actual link that'll take that user to the UPS page with, of course, in a real life environment with an actual tracking number. So again, Elite EXTRA supports all your own trucking methods. NetSuite supports natively FedEx, UPS, and USPS. And then there are additional partner packages available to do LTL, common carrier, and all that fun stuff. So lastly, we've shipped the item. Now we want to invoice it. Now we can invoice it directly at the shipment if we wanted to, or for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to go to the controller. So I'm going to imitate the controller's dashboard. And what you'll see is that the color coding changes a little bit here. The reminders change drastically, right? So sales orders that we need to approve, expense reports, sales orders that need to be invoiced. That's where we're going to go in a second here. We're just going to open up another tab up to get rid of my floaty window thing, but also show you can see kind of you have KPI meters now, you have income by period, you have scorecards, right? Whole bunch of stuff. Even bank reconciliation is directly built into the suite. But now we have a screen where we could invoice from, and you could invoice an individual item just by clicking on that line, or you could mark all. I'm not going to do all of them, otherwise, I'm out of demo data again. But if I select 3, what happens is I hit the submit button. And what the system will do is it'll send them through a queue. It will email, fax, or print, or multiples of those automatically. If I did it manually, then you can see there's always like a button on here. So if I did one at a time and maybe want to do an edit, I want to add some extra charge, I could do it manually here to generate the invoice. And all I'm going to do really at this point in time would be to save it. And potentially just print it to screen so we could take a look at it. There are 3 or 4 different formats that we deliver. This probably is not the best choice of formats. Thank God there are some other choices. On the other hand, though, if we look at the processing here, the system has now generated 3 different invoices. And if we think of from a financial perspective, right, what do finance people care about? They want to see that the general ledger has been hit correctly. And we can see that it has instantly hit the company, the subsidiary. It would hit a department, a class, and it would hit any additional segments. That means that you can add additional segments. These are used for reporting, slicing, and dicing of data. So quick summary again, what have we done up to now? We've taken our order from Logicblock to a sales order to a PO. We received it, we shipped it, we invoiced it. I'll spend 3-4 minutes just going through what I would say the highlights of NetSuite's dashboards. And then we'll stop and see if Melody or Craig have anything in closing. What I would just say, what's really important here is that NetSuite delivers out of the box 15 different user roles. Here's just a few of them. And these user roles are all pre-configured. So if I go to like a CFO, you'll see that, again, colors change, layout changes, content changes. But what we did at NetSuite when I was there, was actually part of this project, is figure out what distribution, manufacturing companies, what they need in general from a statistics, a report, a security, a KPI perspective, and put all of that into a starting package. So day one, all of that is there. So once we bring your data in, you're not starting from scratch. You're not redeveloping reports. Next, there are 220 or so reports, about 50 of them around financials. Those are all included, can be customized by you, or we can help you. You also have the ability to build your own key performance indicators. As an example, down here, like sales by labels. It's what NetSuite calls a search. And where we're doing is we're consolidating everything that was a label together to see how well we're selling certain product groups. And that could be anything that you want to do. So it's any field that is available in NetSuite could be used to create a key performance indicator. They can be graphical if you want them to be. And then there's standard ones as well. So for example, if I just hit income here, it takes me to income statement. I can change the date range here. I can type in a date range. I could take this and subdivide it by, let's say, by quarter. And when I hit refresh, there's my income statement. And if I click on one of these numbers here and hit the control key, it opens up a new tab. And I can quickly drill into the information, into the invoice. And then I'll just point out 2 or 3 other little things at the bottom of the screen here is you can email directly within NetSuite. You don't need a third party. You can export anything to Excel. You can schedule. So if you have certain reports you want to run daily, weekly, monthly, you can schedule those to go. That requires no programming at all. And lastly, on my dashboard here, you'll also see, again, scorecards. There's 11 or 12 scorecards that we deliver. There are what NetSuite calls report snapshots. So these are just real-time reports. So if you want to take a look at how your stats are going, and if you want to see the report itself, you can drill right down and notice this looks very much like that income statement. I can change my date ranges. I can backdate any report. So that's important. If you want to see how your inventory, your sales were doing, let's say last month, right? So maybe from 8/1 to 9/1, virtually every report can be backdated in NetSuite. And then lastly, you can, again, if you are in a multi-company environment, so if you have more than one entity, you can filter by that as well. And again, you can drill down into these just by clicking on the number, and it will continue to bring you down to the original data set that you have. I will close this off just by a couple of things because a lot of people never think about this, but NetSuite, if you do need functionality for your salesperson or for your customer service person, NetSuite has a full customer service module and a full CRM module built in. And when you click on those, you'll see that there's, the concept is more now about leads, managing your leads, managing your prospects, managing your calendars, right? And managing your own KPIs, like monitoring your own commission in order to see, can you pay the bills this month? All right, so that was a lot of information, I'm sure, for everybody. I'm just going to go back to the administrator. I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to kind of pass it back off to Melody and Craig, see what they had planned for the conclusion of this webinar.
All right, Michael, Solomon, yeoman's job, showing us around, kicking the tires. Believe it or not, folks, this isn't everything. This is a pretty quick and efficient run through, but there's a lot of depth and a lot of complexity went into making this process not complex for you. Um, so there's a lot of really wonderful development put together by this team of organizations, not just BSP, not just NetSuite, not just LogicBlock, but all of us working together to create this project. So thank you. We're going to open it up for some questions. Please find the Q&A panel and on the Zoom interface, and we can find you in chat as well. If you've got any questions, please raise your hand. Hit us up on the chat and we'll answer those questions. And I just want to leave you with one additional slide here, which is the contact information for our NetSuite account executive, Melody Flynn. Melody truly owns this category. There's no one more knowledgeable about it than her, and she is a great steward to help you on your journey of digital transformation. So if you are interested in learning more about this product, I think your next step is to set up a call with her or set up some time to see her at the Industry Week conference coming up in Orlando. I'll remind you again, Tuesday morning during the open session, come out and see Brandy Wilkerson, and he'll be talking about his NetSuite experience as well. We do want to thank you on behalf of Business Solution Partners for your time today. We're standing by to help you make that transformation. And if nobody has any questions in the chat, I will be happy to call it a day and give you back your time. I know we're over time. Very much appreciate everybody's attention today. For everybody on this call today, on behalf of my entire team, the LogicBlock team, our partners at NetSuite, our partners at Elite Extra, thanks for tuning in today. We look forward to continuing the conversation about the ISG edition of Oracle NetSuite, and we'll see you next time on our next webinar coming up real soon. Actually, tomorrow, we're going to have another webinar. So we'll see everybody then. Thank you.